Just getting set up here, getting the soldering iron hot, and just gathering all the needed things: solder, flux, and of course my favorite, the helping hand. I did forget the wires. Let me go grab those real quick. Trim these wires. Oh, you know what I forgot? My safety glasses. Let me go grab them. Okay. That should be everything. I gotta get this done though. It's gotta get out. Okay. Got safety glasses. So now I can continue. So the first portion of this is not so fun. It's just me stripping wires. Should get a better view. I get a better view. There we go. But this is just stripping the needed wires. So because of that, I'm going to put on some gameplay. This was from a previous session, so of course it's not live, so I'll just play that for you now. That way you're not just going stir crazy watching me just cut wires and solder little pinpoints everywhere. So here we go. These here are the 20-gram switches, the ones that were requested. These are significantly lighter than the stock switches, which I do not have a set to show. But I'm just going to install these into the switch houses like that. There's only four buttons, so this should be relatively quick installation. I've already programmed the input board off stream, so that'll greatly speed things up. So next, I'm going to remove any pins that are not needed. And I do this just on the off chance that something gets moved around. That way there's no chance of like a short circuit. Ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's one one half of it. I also especially want to get rid of this pin for the reset switch, because that would be very detrimental mid-play. This one here, as well as the 5-volt. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Okay. Sorry, I'm having my dinner off on the side as well. So, alright. This one should be pretty simple. Alright. So the first bit of soldering to clean my iron here. And hold your breath because it's flux. And then we'll just solder on all the pins to the board. Alright, that's the first part. Wait for it to cool off for just a second. It's very hot still. Just gonna let it drop. Okay, that is manageable. Okay. Making sure that's lined up. Good. And the same thing. Just solder on the pins to the board. All right. So we'll let the board cool off for a minute. There it is. All right. I'm having pot stickers for dinner. Very tasty. Nice chili sauce to go with it. Okay. Alrighty. So next, I'm going to attach all the wires to the switches and the housings. Okay, and here's the first of the wires. I'm gonna stick this one here. That's one housing done. This one gets 4 wires because this one is the anchor. This one's going to be the one to control all the other ones, to give them a daisy chain, so to say. So then I'll just continue to tin the terminals, like this one here. This one gets solder, but it doesn't get a wire just yet. This one's gonna get the ground wire that runs across the whole thing. But this one will get a wire. Alright. Okay. I've just got one more housing to go after this one. Like I said, it'd be this would be somewhat of a fast installation. Because there's only 4 buttons. Alright, last switch terminal. I know this part of the assembly is not so exciting. I apologize for that. But it is a necessary step that I like to show on stream, just to show not just the process, but just to show how everything's done. Everything's done correctly, I should say. Alright, that'll do it for the switch houses. So this guy get put away for now. We'll install the lights.
Alright, let's go.
So
Get it.
okie dokie. So let's get the controller all situated here. I took the buttons out so I could get inside and trim. I need to wipe this little spot right here. But here's all the buttons with the little DDR decals. It's hard to see on the camera, but because this is kind of a bad webcam, but they're pretty detailed decals. You can see it says "Show me your moves" on each of them. So I'm gonna go back here and put all the buttons back into the controller, and then we can start wiring this up, and we're basically done. And then it's just testing it. I'm just going to test it tonight to make sure that all the wires were installed correctly and that the software sees the board. I'm going to turn this guy. There we go. But I'll do the stress testing tomorrow evening. I have more time to commit to that because I got work early in the morning. Just making sure these are all straight. Look at that blue combo. Oh, look at him! Look at me go. I don't know. I forgot if I quad that or not. Yes, I do. Nice.
Absolutely cursed. 2 quads in a row.
That's a good chart.
That's so not like me at all. I think it,
That was me playing, by the way.
How'd you do it to him?
Okay, one more button. Looking very good, very sleek with the all black and the black on the button houses. Very slick. Okay, there it is. Well, from the playable perspective, it'd be this way. Cool. I'm going to plug in the input board. Hopefully it doesn't turn the camera off. Sometimes it'll jostle it a little too hard. 1 second. I'm trying to undo this zip tie with one hand. There we go. I'm going to plug in the board, and I'm going to connect the anchor, that way I can verify that the lights do in fact work with input. So you go here, you go there, this one here, and this one here. Perfect. Let's see, every time where's this one right there? Every time I press down, it illuminates the LED. Good. So that's all I actually needed to test. Make sure that it actually sees the button, that it registers the input, and obviously if it registers the input, it'll turn the light on. So that answers that. So then we can actually just start putting everything inside the controller. I do need to do a little bit of trimming right here. There's just a little bit left I have to trim, but not a big deal. Let's put you here. This one here. And last but not least, perfect. So in order to complete the installation for the wiring, I'm gonna have to, oh wait a minute, I didn't even tin this one, hang on. That was silly of me. Okay, so now I got a spool of wire here, and I actually don't need that much, just enough to go around once. So I think that should be plenty. And then I have a spool of white wire, just to differentiate the two. If there's ever any troubleshooting that's required, it helps keep the ground wires separate. The ground for the input and the ground for the lights. They're different inputs, or they're different pins, and they have different functions. Okay. So I'm gonna get rid. I'm gonna do this one first, because this one's kind of a pain to do, which is the LED wire. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Need 4 little incisions on the wire. So now I'm just going to attach all of these to the respective ground. I really should tin this first. You know, I'm going to flux. I'm going to do some flux. It's not catching. Alright, hold your breath. That just helps the solder stick better when you're applying the heat. Okay, I'll tin the wire. It's being very fussy with me, it doesn't want to attach. There we go. Okay. I'm just gonna tin all of these, just make it a little easier. This one's always kind of the tougher one because it's soldering at an angle, 90-degree angle. And solder does not like to stay vertical. Okay, next. Oh, that was hot. Okay, I'm just waiting for it to cool off a little bit. All right, perfect. Start back from the beginning here. This is the beginning. Sorry, that was a dumb joke. Okay. Alright, this is the last wire. With that, I just need to plug everything into the board, and it should all work. Okay. Alright, last one. Alright. That is all the soldering that is needed. And everything is in place. Okay. I'm going to just do this preemptively so I don't have to do it later. There goes the solder. Tie this off in a knot. That way the cable doesn't ever come out or come loose. Perfect. So then plug the board back in. And this board shouldn't ever move after it's been installed here. Alright, let's just do a little cable management here. Just put everything toward the center. Sure all the cables are facing the same way. That's all of the inputs. Now, let's plug the lights in. Let there be light. Alright, that is all of the installation. I'll clean this up a little bit later off stream, but with that, I should now be able to press the buttons and they should light up. There we are. Looks really nice against the black. Let me turn off the light here so you can see a little better. It looks a little weird on the camera here. Again, it's just a really bad low quality webcam, but the color cuts through very nice. It doesn't have the blown out white highlights like it's showing in the camera. It's a very clean looking reds, very, very crispy blues. It looks very, very nice. I'm very happy with that looks. Cool. Well, that's literally the entire installation. Alright, well, unplug soldering iron, let that cool off. Start cleaning up my area. But I do need to trim these little letters are here. They're just a little, they still have a little bit of supports inside of them when they were printing. So, oh, I do want to add electrical tape. This is just a precaution. It's just a precaution for the board, so nothing metal touches it, nothing shorts it out, and it just helps with the connectors. I'm gonna add 2 layers each. I certainly don't want something bad happening to this controller specifically, because this one's going way overseas, and it would be very difficult to send it back to me for any sort of troubleshooting. So I want to nip it now. Yeah, that's all done. And to come back tomorrow, I'll be doing the stress test on this controller, and all that usually means is that I'll be playing some very, very difficult charts, pushing it through like 200 BPM 30-second notes, like prolonged 24th notes at like 250 BPM, just like the most brutal of brutal charts, just to make sure that the controller can handle that kind of input. And I don't think I've ever had a controller ever crumble under that kind of stress, but you never know. It's always that one time you don't test it, and I certainly don't want this one failing at any point. So we'll get some stress testing on that, and be able to request songs if you want. Like this. Oh. Yeah, I'm very happy with this one. I think I'm talking in the other stream, I can't hear, but... Well... Either way, I'm going to shut that off for now. But this looks good. Very good, in fact. All the... Everything registers perfectly. The springs are a little stiff, but they usually become a little less stiff the more you play. So I do have a method of lightening the springs, but it's irreversible, and that's only if the buyer wants that. So yeah, I can't wait to stress test this guy. This is gonna be really fun. Oh yeah, I can't wait. Layering is nice and smooth. Everything looks good. There's a tiny little scuff mark there, but that's kind of to be expected with anything that's 3D printed. Yeah, I gotta trim all this area here. Why did the extruder do this? That's so weird. I'll have to look at the file again, but anyways, that's not really the point. Well, that has been the assembly of this controller here. I can't wait to stress test it. It was pretty fun putting this together. It's one of the shorter ones because there's only 4 buttons. So, if you join me again tomorrow night, I'll be doing some stress testing with this, doing some really insane, borderline stupid charts. So, for now, I hope you have a good night. Thanks a lot for watching. Always fun doing these streams. And I hope to catch you next time, if you've stuck around, for the stress testing. Alrighty, well, I'm going to get going so I can finish eating. I hope you have a good night. Hope to see you tomorrow. Drink some water, and we'll catch you next time. See you later. Bye-bye.